Picture this, you're swept off your feet by the perfect partner. Lavish dates, endless compliments, constant attention, chemistry, and promises of a big future together. And then one day, you notice that your bank account is drained, your trust is shattered, and they're gone without a trace. This isn't a movie. This is the real life nightmare that's been exposed in Netflix's Love Con Revenge, where Tinder Swindler survivor Cecilie teams up with private investigator Brianne Joseph to hunt down real romance scammers. In 2025 alone, romance fraud stole over $1.3 billion worldwide, destroying not just savings, but hearts, families, and futures. Hi, I'm Callie Sorensen, and on this channel, we dive deep into covert manipulation. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how romance fraud works, why even smart, strong people get trapped, and the red flags that can save you from heartbreak or financial ruin. Make sure you grab my free red flag checklist and my curated watch list of must-see documentaries like Love Con Revenge and the Tinder Swindler. So what exactly is romance fraud? Romance fraud, also known as romance scams, are a sophisticated form of emotional and financial exploitation. Scammers pretend to fall in love with you, creating a whirlwind romance built on lies, and then weaponize your emotions to gain money, access, or control. Unlike a quick con, this is coercive control. They slowly reshape your reality, isolating you from friends, making you doubt your instincts, and convincing you that the relationship and their fabricated crises are real. Romance fraud isn't about stupidity or gullibility. It preys on what every human deeply desires, the need for love, safety, belonging, and connection. And that's why it can happen to anyone, no matter how smart, educated, or independent you are. The Romance Fraud Playbook. Romance fraud comes in many forms, but most scammers follow a predictable playbook. And once you see the pattern, you can start spotting it before it traps you. Step 1, mirroring and idealization, the fast track bond. They become your perfect match by mirroring your personality, your dreams, and even past pain. They say all the right things because they've studied you. Maybe your social media, your conversations, even the way you talk about love and values. They pretend to be the perfect human for you. Maybe they claim to be a successful entrepreneur, a doctor, or a military hero, something that instantly inspires awe and trust. For example, in Love Con Revenge, one scammer posed as a philanthropic doctor who just wanted to help people, creating a sense of shared purpose and safety. Step 2, the slow build and small asks. At first, they may seem financially stable. They might even pay for things to show that they're trustworthy. Then one day, they ask for something small, maybe covering a forgotten dinner bill or a quick phone repair. They'll pay you back immediately, proving that they're good for it. This small test starts to win your trust. Once you've helped them once, the asks slowly start to grow. Suddenly, there might be emergencies like hospital bills or frozen bank accounts, enemies chasing them, like Simon in the Tinder Swindler. They create chaos that makes you feel like you're helping your future together survive a crisis. Psychologically, this creates a sunk cost trap. You've already invested emotionally and financially, so you double down instead of walking away. Step 3, the power shift. Blurring boundaries. The relationship then suddenly starts to change. At first, you're showered with love and attention, that honeymoon phase. Then out of nowhere, they start to pull away, leaving you anxious or insecure. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, constantly trying to get back to that magical version of them from the beginning. This is intentional. They want you chasing their affection because when you're off balance, you're easier to control. When you're anxious, you are more likely to give in to their requests in order to get their love back. This is where coercive control becomes emotional abuse. They guilt trip you. If you really loved me, you'd help me. They scare you. If I don't get this money, something terrible is going to happen. They isolate you. Your friends and family just don't understand us. Don't tell them what we're going through. By now, you're not just protecting a relationship, you're fighting to save the dream that they sold you. Step 4, weaponizing your investments. Once you're emotionally hooked and you've given money or resources, the manipulation deepens. They might remind you of everything that you've built together, making it harder to walk away. Maybe they want access to your home, your passwords, your bank account, or even property, framing it as your future together or to avoid danger. You're then trapped between love and fear, believing that leaving now would waste everything that you've sacrificed. Step 5, gaslighting and blame shifting. They start rewriting history, denying things they clearly said, twisting the story, or accusing you of being suspicious or crazy. They might disappear for a bit and then reappear with a tearful story, positioning themselves as the victim. You begin to question your own reality, wondering if you are the problem. This keeps you hooked and makes it easier for them to keep taking more. Step 6, exit or disappearance. Eventually, they either drain everything and vanish, or they might block or ghost you once you start asking the really hard questions. Sometimes they even fake a crisis or death to escape accountability. Victims of romance fraud are left not only with financial devastation, but deep psychological and emotional trauma, while the scammer often just rebrands himself, retargets, and repeats. So why does romance fraud work? Romance fraud works because it hijacks the deepest part of the human experience, our love, trust, and hope. It's not about being gullible or foolish. It's about being human. And here's why this type of scam is so powerful and also so dangerous. It targets our universal human needs. Everyone has a deep need for love, connection, and belonging. Scammers weaponize these universal desires, especially during times when you're vulnerable, like after a breakup, divorce, job loss, or grief. If you've experienced past trauma or low self-worth, that doesn't make you weak. It simply means that scammers have more openings to exploit, tailoring their lies to match your unique hopes, fears, and empathy. They don't just take your money, they take advantage of your very human need to love and be loved. It builds trust over time. Unlike obvious scams, romance fraud feels like a real relationship. It often starts slowly, with weeks or months of daily check-ins, late-night conversations, and future planning that feels completely genuine. This is called grooming, and it works by bypassing your logical brain. When someone is giving you consistent attention, affection, and validation, your brain releases bonding chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, literally making you feel in love. By the time the scammer makes a big request, you're already so emotionally invested, making it incredibly hard to step back and see the truth. Make sure you watch my other series on grooming where I break down this process step by step. Exploit technology. Today's scammers use apps, AI, and deepfake technology to seem more real than ever before. They can send voice notes that sound really authentic, video calls where the face that you see isn't even real, and even fake proof like passports, plane tickets, or urgent bank documents. This allows a single scammer to run dozens of fake relationships simultaneously, reaching victims worldwide at a scale we've never seen before. It hides behind borders and broken systems. Many romance scammers operate across borders, moving between countries or using offshore bank accounts. This makes it incredibly difficult for law enforcement to track them down. To make matters worse, many agencies still misread these crimes as relationship disputes instead of serious fraud. Victims are often told to just block them, leaving them without justice while scammers move on to their next target. The result? Internet fraud losses are skyrocketing, with romance scams now among the most financially devastating types of online crime worldwide. This combination of emotional targeting, long-term grooming, advanced tech, and lack of accountability creates the perfect storm, one that can trap even the smartest, strongest people before they even realize what's happening. So how can you protect yourself? Romance fraud thrives in secrecy and speed, so your best defense is to slow things down, verify, and protect yourself before you get entangled. Here's what to watch for and what to do if you suspect something isn't right. Some of the red flags to watch out for are: they could resist video calls or in-person meetups. They might always have a reason why they can't meet: work trips, military deployment, bad Wi-Fi, or sudden family crisis. If weeks go by and there's always an excuse, that's a major red flag. Also, there could be emergencies that are tied to money, medical bills, last-minute travel costs, frozen bank accounts or credit cards, urgent visa fees, or family emergencies. At first, the amounts are small and easy to say yes to, but then they start to escalate. Requests for access. They want your passwords, bank logins, crypto wallet keys, or even physical keys to your home. They frame it as trust, but it's really control. Pressure for secrecy. They discourage you from talking to friends or family about the relationship or the crises that they're facing. They just won't understand us. This isolates you and makes the scam harder to detect. Also, big, dramatic, or shifting stories. Maybe their backstory is cinematic. like a secret agent, a millionaire, a doctor, or a war hero. Or maybe it's very normal, but the details constantly change or feel too perfect or too good to be true. Moving fast. Within days or weeks, they call you their soulmate. They talk about marriage or make big promises about your future together. Real love takes time. Scammers rush to create a false sense of destiny. For more signs to be careful of, download my free red flag decoder checklist. The link is in the description below. And here are the steps that you can take to protect yourself. Slow the pace down. Don't let them rush you. Learn how to say no and honor your own nervous system's timing. Verify their details independently. Verify their identity, cross-check on multiple platforms, use reverse image searches on photos, check public records, employment listings, and whether their name matches the ID that they show you. If something feels off, it probably is. And do not share sensitive access like passwords, banking passwords, crypto wallet keys. These should never be shared with somebody that you're just starting to date, no matter how close you feel. Create financial safety barriers. If you do decide to help financially, use a completely separate bank account and set a $0 policy for anyone you haven't met in person multiple times. And document everything. Save screenshots, receipts, and a timeline of events. You can also file reports with places such as the FBI Internet Crime Center, the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, Action Fraud UK, or your country's equivalent. You can also consider a licensed private investigator. Before merging finances or signing anything, a PI can verify if they are who they claim to be and often expose lies that you'd never uncover alone. Set boundaries and get outside perspective. Loop in a trusted friend or family member before making any major decision in the relationship, even if they tell you not to talk to anyone. If someone pressures you to keep secrets, that is a red flag within itself. Seek trauma-informed support. Counselors, therapists, survivor groups, or coercive control or financial abuse specialists can help you process what's happening and guide your next steps. If you're already entangled, make sure to act quickly to secure yourself. Freeze your credit. Change all your passwords. Enable app-based two-factor authentication. Contact your bank's fraud team immediately. Preserve every piece of evidence before confronting or blocking them. Safety plan first if you fear retaliation. If you think that they might react with anger or threats, work with a domestic violence advocate or professional before cutting ties. Your safety comes first before exposing the scam. If you've ever felt manipulated, pressured, or deceived in a romantic relationship, just please hear me when I say this. You are not alone, and this is not your fault. These frauds are real. They happen to smart, capable, kind-hearted, empathetic people because scammers are experts at targeting your empathy and trust. And the damage goes far beyond money. It can leave deep emotional scars, self-doubt, and even shame that isn't yours to carry. I'd love to help you unpack what happened, release the self-blame, and build an unshakable inner shield against manipulation. You can book a free consultation below to get started or join my signature program, Become Ungroomable, a step-by-step roadmap to heal deeply, rebuild your confidence, and recognize manipulation before it even gets close to you. You'll learn how to spot the red flags early, trust your instincts again, and never feel trapped in this cycle of deceit. If you found value here, please share this with someone who might be vulnerable. Awareness is the first line of defense against romance fraud. Protect your heart, protect your home, and protect your finances. And remember, you deserve love that is honest, safe, and real. Healing is possible, freedom is possible, and you are worthy of both. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.